Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Battle Brothers Season 3. As today, we're currently out in the middle of the desert, so we should probably do something about that. But yes, we've currently got our sights set on Kraken, which will be, of course, the staging ground for our next foray out into the wildlands. But before that, let's go ahead and finish clearing up this fog. May or may not find anything worth our time here, but only one way to find out. I'm honestly not sure how much we might actually find out here, aside from maybe another stronghold or two. Because I did glance at a truncated list of the DLC locations, and Blazing Desert's only actually added 4. I want to say at least 2 or 3 of which we've already found. One being the library over yonder, which, you know, we'll head up if we're ever feeling particularly bold, but that is one of the tougher legendary locations. And then 3 lore locations, like the ancient city we stumbled across a couple of episodes ago, which are all tied to the new 4th Crisis event, the Holy War, of which I want to say we found 2? Though it would seem that this particular leg of our journey is a bust. Alright, let's beeline for Kraken. At least we cleared the fog, so... Oh, oh, wow. Okay. Executioner and Stalker. Essentially the southern equivalent of a Master Archer and Hedge Knight. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to do it. We just can't take any chances on this one. This is an actual fight. Let me just get our guys set real quick. We'll go in while it's still dark. That'll handicap their stalker. As the raiders entered the last leg of their journey through the never-ending sands, they were reinvigorated, spying the lights of Kraken gleaming on the horizon, and invigorated even more as they stumbled upon an uncharted oasis, which they used to swiftly refresh themselves, drinking their fill, washing their grimy, sand-scoured faces. And then they pushed on, a pep in their step, intent on marching till dawn if it meant finally sleeping with a roof over their heads once more, only to swiftly discover that they were not alone here. An uncharted oasis, this close to a major trade route. It should have come as no surprise that this would be a point of particular strategic value to anyone cunning and powerful enough to control it. Bandits, Arrow uttered as he surveyed the vast tent city. Zarmal nodded silently beside him. The assassin's head turned, eyes drawn to the gleam of gold in the full moonlight. He pointed towards a figure stalking the shadows, slowly but steadily creeping back towards the camp. And it looks like we've been made, my friends. A brief moment of hushed conference took place, and then, weapons gripped and teeth gritted, the raiders eschewed stealth, charging the nomad camp with a rallying cry. The initial response was predictably chaotic. Some cutthroats scattering into the shadows, others charging forth to meet these screaming interlopers head-on. But the raiders took it all in stride. They'd fought many men like this before. A thought punctuated by the brutal gurgle of a neck-struck nomad as he staggered past Rook's bloodied pike. Seymore stepped up, a slightly awkward swing bit deep. A nomad clubber, stumbling, blood pulsing from his torn thigh. Trip pointed past the throng, another glint of gold. The bandit leader approaching. The aptly named Aishun the Elusive, wielding a scimitar of truly comical proportion. There came another shout from the north, this time as Zarmal singled out another hulking brute, looming up behind the rank-and-file ruffians. A towering titan clad in southern steel, again carrying a mace nearly as long as he was tall. And the gold-crested archer quietly stalked the nomad back line. A crack of thunder on north. The nomads given pause, but not the brute behind them. Rax waded in, lopping the head off the first foolish enough to face him. Random reinforced the south. Cetrus the north. And the battle was well and truly joined. A scattering of arrows raining across the raider line. Though none finding their mark in Night's nocturnal embrace. Oof. The clang of metal as a pole mace rebounded off Rax's helm. Echoed a split second later as Maul met Verlin's as well, albeit with much greater impact. Zarmal initiated a joint assault, catching a flailman through ankle and elbow. Another jab, and Verlin's helm was torn from his head, the metal already mangled by the massive Maul impact. Another blast on north, drawing attention away from Ashun the Elusive, as he continued to slowly skulk about on south. Scimitar held poised, ready to claim its first victim. Arrow offhanded an enemy archer. Sigmar stabbed through his badly bleeding foe, blade tip disemboweling the mauler just beyond. He stepped up, ready to continue the carnage. The trip was quick to slip past, locking down the skulking stalker. And Random cracked an arm on south. A scimitar-wielding scoundrel yelping at censored radius. The sinister sentinel circled wide on north. Diego too distracted to intervene. Though he did strike down one of the nomads as they turned to run. Verlin likewise impaled another on south. And Drakiith lopped the head off yet another nomad on north. Buying Mark time to fire off one last blast, his unnatural night vision, allowing him to keenly track the skulking executioner. Zarmal darted back, blocking the bulwarked brute's approach. Though the formidable figure was surprisingly spry, despite the southern steel. Meanwhile on south, Trip staggered, suffering a heavy blow of his own. And Arrow laid down a steady stream of fire as nomads inevitably overran the southern flank. Aishun in tow, scimitar gleaming sinisterly as he strode into combat with the company's resident wild man. Random grunted, trying to tighten his swing, sensor clipping Aishun's helm, though otherwise barely giving the bandit leader pause. Diego surveys the situation. Then, with a sudden movement, he pulls Rex into his place, pivoting back, moving to reinforce Zarmal, and breaking yet another nomad in the process, which Drak quickly capitalizes upon. Trip catches a cutthroat's kidney. Rex tears down two more. And Rook moves around on south, blocking two more bandits' approach. Even as Sigmar slashes across another swordsman's stomach. Verlin stabbing the disemboweled dastard through the foot for good measure. And the first of their foes flees. Though Verlin fells a second as he seeks to do likewise. Mark lays down fire, keeping the executioner off kilter. Oof. Another nasty hit on Trip, but he's still mostly holding strong, just hanging there, bud. A Mauler circles wide on south, confronting the company archer. And Bowman swiftly shoulders his bow, grabbing for his spear instead. A ratcheting spark, a plume of flame. The Mauler staggers, briefly blinded by the blaze. Zarmal waves off Cetrus. And the caravan hand reluctantly complies. Another random impact, and this time, Aishun's helm is dashed to the sand. But the enemy remains, annoyingly elusive. Rook dissuades the Mauler at his back. And Rax wrecks shop, continuing to wade his way through the enemy back line. One neck at a time. Diego drives his spear through another shieldman's side. Trip dispatches another archer. Sigmar following up. Another swordsman slain. Though both he and Trip are too weary now to do much else. Spying an opening, Zarmal festoons his frustrated foe with a slightly frayed net. Frantic movements becoming muted as the bandit is thusly bogged down. Verlin repositions. Diego dispatches the last on north, but for the entangled executioner. And more foes begin to flee. Oh, goodness. And finally, after two probing strikes, a third one does the trick. The crunch of a pole mace cracking into Trip's side. A trio of ribs giving way. The thief staggers, but still yet stands. And Random finds himself worn down as well. An errant slash slitting across one side of his neck. Rook stabbing Ashen through the throat in turn. No. Focus center. Rax's march continues. A poleman pulverized. An archer undone. Oh boy. Sensing the looming threats, Random smashes the spearman's nose. Oh, just hang in there, bud. We got this. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. No longer under immediate threat, Trip takes a quick breather. Oh, right. Seymore probably should have done that too, but that's fine. The Executioner tears his way out of tattered restraint. And multiple nomads try to flee. 2 dying in the process. Verlin stumbles, left on his last legs. Trip dispatches the Desert Stalker. Mark moves south, though he's not apt to arrive in time to do much of anything. Arrow takes aim. Putting a shot through an archer's foot. Zarmal continues nickel and diming the Nomad. Heavy. Okay, yes, that'll do it. As another foe falls exsanguinated, Random finds himself no longer under immediate threat, except for his profuse bleeding, which Rook should hopefully have in hand momentarily. We just need to... Okay. Oh, we'll rotate him in. Though Random does take an opportunity to crush yet another Nomad. Never one to rest on his laurels, that one, bloody or otherwise. The rest of the Raiders rally, moving in to finish off the last few fleeing foes. Though some stop to catch their breath instead. Random grunts, nailing another Nomad into the ground. And Rook finally steps in, ignoring Ashen as he instead binds the panting and bleeding wild man's neck, stemming the flow and thankfully saving his life. Oh, my goodness, that was way too close. Trip dispatches another, clearing center. An axeman flees off into the distance. Exit, stage left. Though the Executioner still stands strong, the Ego Shield held poised and ready. Zarmal wearily gripping his blade. Though south at least is clear. One last arrow from Bowman, finally putting Ashen in his place. Hell, I guess, but I'm not really sure what sort of afterlife mythology they have in this setting. Not sure it's ever really come up. All we really know for sure, I think, is that Death's got a bit of a revolving door these days. Hard to say if that's commonplace, though, or just a sign of these particular times. The Executioner continues his increasingly futile struggles, trying to land just one lucky blow. Even as the exhausted Zarmal continues chipping away. Just buying the Raiders enough time to join him in the final assault. And eventually realizing the inevitable, the Executioner finally breaks. Too late, of course, as he finds his retreat blocked off by Rax. Others likewise moving to pin him in place, to hold him steady, so Zarmal can get that last, very much deserved death blow. And there we go. My goodness, that was the toughest fight we've had in quite some time. Though, honestly, you know, aside from the near-death experience on Random and maybe Trip, not anywhere near as bad as it could have been. Trip locked their stalker early, even if he did pay for it, but that saved us a lot of potential pain. And Zarmal kept the Executioner busy, which bought the rest of the company time to dispatch the ads, and of course Aishun as well. Ooh, that's a fun helmet. The lamellar harness, maybe a bit less. I'll have to compare that to what we've already got. Two-handed mace. Two-handed scimitar. Warbow. And a famed shield. Sir Wolfheart's Rampart. Which is interesting. Excessively high range defense, but honestly my eye is more drawn to the -2 fatigue on shield skills. That is very useful for our shieldmen. Right, give me a sec to sort this stuff out. Gotta make some room. And good to go. Inventory sorted, formation reset. Let's get cracking for Karakin. Nice. Alright, Trip, let's get those ribs taped. And scope the local markets. Ooh, yes, absolutely, we will take that. And you know what, we'll take that too. One hyena mantle, one large powder bag. Some other potential goods, but those are of less immediate concern. Nothing notable in the armor smith. Knowledge potion, though way too expensive, I think. Nothing of note in the local recruit pool. Sandstorm and a Freet, so that gives us an idea of what these contracts are about, but let's have a peek. You walk into Walid al-Faradi, the Vizier of War's domicile, but a veritable wall of guards stop you from approaching any closer. He stands at the base of a throne with a short staircase descending from it. He walks down it with deliberation at every step, coming to the landing. A man looks back at him, and the Vizier nods. The man looks back at you and hands you a scroll. It reads that creatures of an undetermined sort are wreaking havoc within the protectorate of Karakin. If you find and destroy said monsters, you are to be rewarded in the manner suitable to the task. With crowns. Yeah, sure, why not? If it were a Freet, he would have just said so. So this means either hyenas or snakes, both of which we could use. Also makes for a slightly easier fight, something the rookies can handle perhaps. And, oh boy. Okay. Local prices are pretty rough, but they are offering premium coins, so one sec. Let's unload our cart. And we're back. Cargo car gone. A few choice pieces doled out to various raiders. New shield for Diego. New scimitar for Drakiith. You know, figured we'd try it on for size. And a very slight armor upgrade for Trip. Long overdue. That's a net +5 armor and +15 initiative, though he does lose the fearsome effect from the direwolf pelt. And you know what? I also realized whilst I was taking care of that Trip's been traveling with us for quite some time now, and yet he's still a mere human. Which may explain why he's starting to fall behind the rest of the company. Thankfully, that's simple enough to rectify. With enhanced opportunism. This subject's eyes are altered to more easily detect faults in target's defenses. They also seem to very faintly hiss S sounds. Wow, a surprisingly terse report from the anatomist. Usually they go a bit more long-winded. Then again, I suppose I can't really blame them for not wanting to linger near a guy they just pumped full of snake juice. That said, let's get back to it. We've got some tracks just over yonder, so... Oh, and there we go. Oof, actually. You know, I was kind of hoping this would be a good rookie fight, but, 15 serpents might be a bit much. Definitely pull Alois. He's helpless if he gets yoinked into a snake pile. Yeah, let's go ahead and pull the throwers too. That, again, probable death sentence if they get yoinked. We'll go wide front, which will let us try out that new scimitar. Looking forward to that. My general understanding is that it's weaker than most other two-handed weapons, but also significantly faster. 2 swings per round. Alright, not sure Giannis or Seymore can handle this, but let's go scale this threat. The raiders set off in pursuit of the threat, haunting Karakin's shores. But no sooner had they begun to wade their way across the nearby shallow waterways than they were suddenly set upon. Strange, sinewy forms, rippling through the waters at either side, like the great, grasping tendrils of some unseen alien beast. But surely such a thing could not exist. Some sort of tentacled monstrosity, large enough to swallow a man whole? Of course not. And sure enough, as they stumbled upon the distant shore, still sopping wet, gasping for breath, the sinewy forms followed them right out. A tangle of massive snakes cascading forth, their sleek, scaled forms spilling over one another with impossible grace. Poisonous green eyes gleaming with unfettered avarice. Diego quickly stepped up, shielding the company's 2 weaker members, much to Giannis and Seymour's annoyance, though they certainly didn't complain. And the rest of the raiders held back as well, wary of the sinister serpent's extensive reach. Tommy drew first blood, a pair of hurled javelins, one glancing off thick-scaled hide, another burying deep. Drak rushed in next, but met with no success. An arrow whistling past him a split second later, tearing into the towering terror's side. Rax rushed in, letting out a raucous laugh as he was heedless of his own safety, rushing right into the beast's midst. Rassel took a slightly more cautious approach, framing the frenzied formation on south. And it began. Yeah, there we go. Head struck with lightning swiftness, fangs glancing off gilded plate. Mal rushed in, lopping the head off a badly wounded beast. Tommy lunged in, putting a spike through another serpent's throat. And Drakiith circled, but still found no fortune with Ashen's former blade. Diego waded in next. Finding himself stymied by such fluid foes. And Rax attacked, the mighty warrior pinwheeling about. Two beasts cut in twain. He swiftly finished a third, only one escaping his wrath. Rassel cracking another across the ribs. And Mal yelped as he was sent surging forward, finding himself entangled by a quartet of foes. Tommy likewise tugged forward as well, though Sigmar swiftly surged to his side. More snakes encircled Drakiith on south, and Giannis finally moved in on north, cracking his flail soundly across the snake's scaly side. Seymore moving up as well, now that the beasts were thoroughly distracted. A few fearsome fanged bites, and Rax was once again drawn into their midst. Tommy as well, vanishing amidst the muscular, coiled throng. Though Drak was quick to carve a gap, scaling back the threat. Bowman continued laying down fire, bleeding the beasts from afar. Rassel moved in to support Tommy, at the very least, ensuring he wouldn't die alone. Sigmar caught one upside the head, scraping away thick scales to expose bloodied skull beneath. Cetrus caught another atop the head, a crack of bone, the beast's movements becoming sluggish. Easy prey for Giannis's flail. Mal finished yet another monster, whilst Rax hacked down yet one more, then paused to catch his breath. Tommy grabbed his mace, cracking a beast's head open. Rook impaled yet another, striking something vital enough to finally put it down. But swaying, not dissuaded, the beast persistently pulled Tommy back, continuing to isolate him from the rest of the raiders, seeking at least one easy meal before the fight was through. Sigmar slashed through another serpent, and Drakiith, yet one more. Oh, goodness. And just as it seemed the raiders had things well in hand, one of the last few beasts finally found its mark, fangs sinking deep, threatening to tear out Mal's throat. Rassel rushing to his side. Diego as well, though neither could push it off. Shit. Rook jabbed at the beast as Mal flailed, blinded by his own blood. But then came Rax, and with one mighty swing, the Ophidian was Ophidi done. No, that was terrible. What? Look, I'm under stress, okay? And the rest of the raiders swiftly moved to finish the job. But 3 beasts remained. Mal's blood-pulsing neck. A stark reminder that these things still posed a threat, even alone. Though thankfully Mal would live. For now, at least. Drak killed the third to last on south. Cetrus the second on north. And the final beast soon found itself surrounded. The raiders literally after its hide. Except for Mal. Mal fell back. He was done sticking his neck out for one day. Oh. And to its credit, the snake fought to its dying breath, finally collapsing from sheer exertion and blood loss before the raiders could fell it on their own. The serpents are cut to pieces, and you haul together the good bits, mostly their flatheads and curious tails, so as to offer proof to Walid al-Faradi, the Vizier of War, of a deed completed. Indeed. Let's head on back. You drag the serpent skins towards Walid, the Vizier of War, but a man wearing a feathered turban stops you. He speaks in what sounds like gibberish, though the occasional word slips through. It seems he is in the employ of the Vizier, and he is taking the serpent's remains. You look to Walid, who nods to confirm that this is what is to happen. He also seems to notice the signs of tension on your face, as you worry about your payment. He speaks loudly and proudly. Fear not, Crownling. The only snakes here are the ones you have brought to us. Fair enough, as long as I get paid. Otherwise, you can't really blame me for any hysterics that might ensue. Oh, boy. Man, it just goes to show that even this late into the campaign, you can still get some solid pushback, even just from run-of-the-mill fights. Sadly, local prices are still pretty rough, which I suppose is apt to continue unless we want to deal with those Ifrit, which I don't particularly want to, so, I mean, we'll probably just sell our stuff and be on our way. That said, I do think we're going to have to go ahead and call it here, because I'm just about spent. 2 near-death encounters in a single episode really takes it out of you. Though we did skirt by the skin of our necks. I think, I want to say Random was a lot closer to death than Mal, but they both nearly bit it. That's it. Yes, we'll go ahead and hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of yet another round of inventory management, clear up some space. Maybe grab a few more supplies. We're definitely going to need more food if we're heading out into the wildlands. And we will pick up here next time, as I think we just push straight northwest. We might get a peek at that contract, but I can't imagine it's something we'll actually do. It's apt to be either Ifrit or something much more run-of-the-mill that we're not really looking for, like a delivery run. See you then. Forgot to actually end the episode. Farewell! Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.